Welcome to another St. By Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to the St. By Night Twitch channel where we play St. Petersburg By Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness chronicle set in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida, including Vampire the Masquerade, including Hunter the Reckoning, and including tonight's chronicle, Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Kent, also known as Misha Kent on all social media. I am the lead storyteller of St. Pete by Night, and I have the distinct privilege of being the storyteller here on Rage Across Tampa, which is one of the greatest adventures I have ever been able to embark upon. We are on episode 26, entitled Evening Star, and it is the season finale of Rage Across Tampa. After tonight's episode, we are going to be taking a 1-month break to allow yours truly, as well as our amazing players, some time to recover, to recoup, to remember what it is to be human again, instead of being, drooling monsters of the night that howl at the moon weekly. We're going to take some time off, but we will be back with the beginning of Season 2 in late June. Just stay tuned to the schedule here on Twitch or over on our website to stay up to date on all of the developments as far as that goes. Also, go follow us on all of our social media listed down below in the description of this video. There is a lot of amazing content to be seen, and while we're gone, there are a lot of amazing stories to be seen as well as some YouTube exclusives that are now available on the YouTube channel, as well as more coming up in the future. So much content, you'll barely miss us, but I know we will miss you. That being said, allow me the wonder, the opportunity to introduce the amazing players of Rage Across Tampa. Players, say hello and introduce yourselves, if you please.
Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Aiden Goodspeed, the Arun of the Gale Stalkers.
Hi everybody, I'm Champ, Champagne, Caters, potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Lovely, big, golden, whatever you want to call me, but I will be playing Aspen Wise, Philodox of the Silver Fangs.
Hello everybody, my name is Nori, and I will be playing Malicious Jester, the Black Fury Galliard.
Hi everyone, I'm Simon. I'll be playing Joseph Ashspeaker, the Theurge from the Ghost Council, and tonight's Rite Master.
Hey everyone, I'm Walks or Walks the Web, and tonight I will be playing Lucas Shaw, the Shadow Lord Ragabash.
I hope nobody has an unexpected allergy to potatoes all of a sudden. So, keep an eye out for that and watch your gluten levels and whatever else may be afflicted by tonight's story. Speaking of tonight's story, this is the conclusion of a long journey, over 6 months in the making, the forming of this pack, hoping to come together to establish the first renewed cairn of Tampa, an area that was completely abandoned by the Garou almost a decade ago after a devastating attack made by the Kindred of Tampa. This is the opportunity, the chance, the moment to provide hope for the Garou Nation, for all Garou kind, a fresh start in an ongoing, endless conflict to battle the worm and to save Gaia. Will Tampa, will Florida become that bastion of hope? That'll be determined after tonight's events. Last week, our pack called out to any aid they could receive, any allies, any contacts. They even reached out to long left mentors of the past, trying to get any help they can. And over the past week, that help has arrived in, some would say, droves. Every day since, a few new Garou have shown up, usually recognized by one of you or spoken for by someone you trust, coming in one after another after another. It seemed hope was building. The numbers were strong. Not as many as were often hoped at first, but enough to ensure that the ritual could take place. And then, just a day ago, Matthias Morningkill of the Silver Fangs arrived, and he arrived locked and loaded as he brought 30 Ghislaine armed and ready to fight and secure the borders of the cairn. And with militant order, with precision, they found their positions and began to guard the cairn. Tonight's story doesn't begin in Tampa. It doesn't even begin at the cairn. It begins with a new arrival who has sought out Tampa in a most unusual fashion. Lucas, originally from Chicago, you were part of the Sept of Jupiter, a rather well-renowned organization within the greater Garou Nation. But you didn't really have the best parting of ways with them, and for some time now, you've been living, for the most part, on your own as an outcast. Doing what you can to survive, doing the best you can not to gain more notice than you already have. It was one evening when you looked to the southern sky and saw a star, what seemed to be a new star, or perhaps a star that you had gone not noticing for a while, that showed and glowed brighter than it had ever had before. And that's when you heard the call from up above, beckoning you southward, not giving you any information, just continuing to call you throughout the day and the night until you couldn't help but start to follow, start to move, start to make your way down south. How would you travel from Chicago southward?
Lucas has an old beat up truck, like an 87 Chevy. It's not in the best condition, and it has what few things that he owns when he left in it, but in the back it's also filled with odds and ends for gardening and tending lawns and stopping to do odd jobs as he's traveling on his own.
What's going through Lucas's mind as he begins this journey, as he hears this call for the first time, as the spirits, other than one familiar companion, have been rather quiet ever since you were ejected from the sept that you had called home for your entire Guru existence? What's going through his mind now that this new voice has entered into his head, has started to invade his dreams and call to him?
Lucas has never really been one that understands spirits the way that others. He's a ragabash, so he just kind of tends to take portents and omens as just things that happen. So he doesn't really question it. But there is that side of him that has had dealings with something else that gives him pause for a moment, makes him a little suspicious. But seeing as it's not the normal other things that he's used to having happen to him, he's trusting, optimistic.
So with it being approximately a 21-hour drive at an average pace, it probably takes you several days stopping for the night, whether it's at rest stops or at some cheap motel that you're able to find along the way, getting you closer and closer. On the third night, the night before you're supposed to arrive in Tampa, where you find a small rest stop along the road in Georgia, do you travel primarily at night or during the day?
It would be easier to see the star at night, and also just generally quieter and easy for him to travel at night. So yeah, he would travel at night.
So following the star at night, you pull over at a rest stop, preparing to take your rest for the day to make your last leg of the journey at night to Tampa. And as you find yourself drifting off to sleep, exhausted and road weary, having never had to drive for these extended, long days, stopping for gas, trying to find what food you can, you feel yourself drift off into the most peaceful sleep that you've had in quite some time. And as you do, leaned back in the seat of your truck, maybe even curled up over the two seats in the front, the voice comes to you again. But it has a closer feeling. As you've been getting closer, it's drawn nearer and nearer. But this time, as it calls to you as if it is sitting right beside you in the truck. Not sure if you're awake or if you're dreaming. You look over to the passenger seat and you see a tiny, tiny humanoid figure sitting on the seat next to you, but it glows with a bright and brilliant radiance that is almost blinding at first, making you want to shield your eyes, but the glow dims until you see this humanoid female form that is sitting on the seat, its little legs kicking off the seat as they can't quite reach the ground down below, looking around the inside of the truck, kind of playfully and excitedly, before it looks over to you. Hi!
Hi? I don't remember making any wishes, so what are you doing here?
I made the wish. You're just answering it.
Oh, so it
Lucas,
works
right?
the other way. Yeah, that's me.
Well, yeah, it works the other way. We're not that different, you and I. We just come from different places. My friends need your help.
Why do they need my help?
Well, they've been in a very dangerous place for a very long time. They've been trying to build something. Well, rebuild something. Something that was there a long time ago that was destroyed. Trying to make something of nothing and trying to bring hope back to a rather hopeless place. But they can't do it alone. With how dangerous, with how fraught the area is, they need others. And I've watched you for a very long time, Lucas, and you look like you need a home. And a home is what they're building.
Okay. So maybe I do need a home. Maybe you're right. Why me specifically?
You are an outcast. You've made mistakes. Well, so have they, in their own way. Maybe not as dramatic of a mistake as you, but they've made their own mistakes, each and every one of them, in one way or another. They've all sought a fresh start, a new beginning, an opportunity for forgiveness, and an opportunity to prove themselves, to learn and become what they are. To save Gaia.
He's going to get very serious when it says that he did something bad. Look, two things. Maybe you're right, but I'm not going to be criticized by an animated character sitting in my front seat. Two, okay, you have a deal.
I'm not an animated character, Lucas. I'm the angel on the other shoulder. The other side is already filled, isn't it?
Maybe.
Then there has to be balance, and I'm here to restore that balance for you. And if you find this new home to your liking, maybe it'll be a longer lasting position. But they have to accept you first.
Okay. I think we can keep what's on my other shoulder between you and me before.
It's not my
Well,
business to talk about other people's business. I just watch and observe and counsel when counsel is needed. Everybody has things that they carry from their past. Some just stick with us a little longer. And maybe one day, when you have forgiven yourself, when you are ready, you won't need the other one.
Where am I going?
Oh, they call it, Tampa.
That's either Tampa or a hot sauce, one or the other.
I'm pretty sure it's the first one, but it might be the second one because things do get a little spicy down there sometimes. But I'm pretty sure it's the first one. Tampa. Yes, that one. Tampa. Yes. It is. Well, I've showed you the way this far, haven't I?
Yes.
I'll show you the rest of the way. Just follow me. You'll know where to go.
All right.
They are nervous. Just understand that. And they'll be on their guard. It's a lot bigger of a mess down there, Lucas. Probably bigger than you've ever witnessed.
Well, we Shadow Lords tend to go where there's messes and also bring messes with us. So, sounds like you picked the right person.
Will you help them with theirs? They'll most assuredly help you with yours. Sleep well, Lucas. Get your rest. I'll watch over you, and nothing will harm you. At least not tonight.
All right.
With that, the figure starts to glow even brighter and brighter till it's almost blinding. And then darkness follows. And you have a blissful, dreamless sleep for the rest of the evening. You feel comfortable as if you're wrapped in a nice warm blanket rather than kind of slung across some very uncomfortable seating in a beaten up old truck. And when you awake, the sun greets you on your face in the western sky, preparing to set as you set off to continue your journey. Later that evening, at the cairn, you have been preparing for quite some time. You've been greeting all of the individuals who have arrived, whether they come from Virginia, Colorado, Washington, or even Georgia. As you were surprised to see, the last group that arrived the previous night was from the Georgia cairn, and with them was Terrence. Now that everyone has started to settle in, you begin to make your preparations for that coming evening when a truck, beaten up and ragged, bearing old Illinois license plates, pulls into the cemetery. They're stopped immediately at the gate by the Ghislaine guards, who ask a few questions, and then a few moments later, a radio that Artie has been working with crackles and says, "We've got an arrival. They're not on the list."
Where are they from?
After a moment, Chicago.
We didn't invite anyone from Chicago.
Well, they're here. What do you want me to do with them?
Bring them here. Bring them to us.
Roger. After a moment, the vehicle continues to pull into the cemetery. It's not quite dark yet. It's probably early evening. The sun's still setting on the horizon, giving you a little bit of time before the ritual must begin. The rites must begin. You've probably got about an hour until that time. The vehicle pulls up, escorted by a few of the watchmen who are walking slightly behind the vehicle, their armaments at the ready. And as the vehicle pulls up, a man steps out of the driver's seat. Lucas, if you want to go ahead and describe yourself.
So Lucas is mid-20s. He's about 5'9", probably about slight build. But the very noticeable thing that you see about him is he has what looks like 2 claw marks, and it doesn't look like they were made from regular animals. They stretch right across his face, going the same direction this way. Since it's getting dark, he has his sunglasses off. One of his eyes droops a little bit where the scar crosses through his eyes, and the right side of his mouth droops a little bit. He's tried to grow a beard out to cover most of it that disappears underneath it, but it doesn't cover nearly enough of it to make it unnoticeable. He's dressed in cargo pants, some hiking boots. He's got a t-shirt on, and he just kind of turns and like stares at the 2 guards that followed him up, and then he turns and opens up a truck like storage box, pulls out what looks like a small tactical vest, which has 2 crisscross holsters on it, and then reaches into the truck and takes out what looks like a tomahawk of some sort, and then what also looks like about a 17 or so inch silver clave. And he just kind of stands there looking at them like, you want to search me?
Aiden,
I got him.
I also suggest you drop the weapons for now.
Star sent me. And I'll drop this clave when I'm dead.
Excuse me? What was the first thing you said?
A star sat in my truck. A star that I've been following from Chicago. Told me I was needed here. Told me specifically there was a group down here that needed me.
Describe this star.
About 2.5 feet tall, bright. Looks like an animated character. Real nauseatingly bubbly.
Lucas, as you're looking over the group, the individual that you saw sitting in the truck bared a striking resemblance to the blonde-haired woman and the black-haired woman, a weird mix between the two, as if it had adopted some of the features of one and some of the features of the other in its form.
Yeah, it looked kind of like you two.
Can I make a insight check to see if he's lying?
Sure. Roll wits and insight.
Regardless, you still need to be searched. Aiden,
Yep. Hold still, little guy. Just gonna check a couple things.
We got
He'll
one.
He'll just hold his arms out and vest in one hand and clave and axe in the other hand and just be searched.
I'll pat him down.
Joseph, it's really hard to tell. He has a very gruff and very hardened emotional exterior. So trying to break through to see the intentions of his words it's not an easy task. But based off of his willingness to be searched as Aiden pats him down as he stands seemingly unperturbed by this entire process, there does seem to be some legitimacy to what he says. And the way he describes Star, though she never really takes a specific form, it's always kind of an amalgam of forms that changes every time you see her. There's something to what he says. Joseph, I'd like you to roll me a wits and awareness as well.
That's 2. Distracted today.
As you're looking over Lucas, your vision is drawn away up into the sky to where Star usually originates, and the star seems to be glowing a little bit brighter.
Done searching there, buddy. You need me to do a little dance too?
Can you dance?
The music's right.
What's your
Fair.
name?
Lucas Shaw. Ragabash. Shadow Lord.
Aiden,
He
you
was
didn't
in
find
charge.
anything in your search. As you checked over him, you didn't find any other weapons other than those he's openly presented to you. Otherwise, it's just muscle and bone beneath those clothes.
He's clean. Everything he's got out. Joseph, quick second.
Yeah.
He'll walk up to him.
Yep.
The issue we have at the trailer park. Can you see if he is what he says he is?
It's a gift for another person. Not really my thing, but
I know you have a
Star's
lot,
saying, No, it Star's saying yes.
All right. Let's keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Joseph will walk over to Aspen and quietly. Star seems to be saying yes.
We got to get better with communicating with her because we need to know these things, especially today.
Yeah. Spirits do how spirits do.
Yeah. Okay, Lucas. So you're here to help then?
That's what I was asked to come here to do. You guys got some good security.
Did the Star tell you what you're here to help with?
She said you were building something, that you've had some problems, that I was the solution to some of those problems. You know, spirit things.
Well, he sounds like a Shadow Lord.
Speaking of which, who's in charge?
That'd be me. Aspen Weiss, nice to meet you.
Aspen, for Lucas's purposes, if you would go ahead and describe yourself, as you are not necessarily what one would expect to see when they hear there is a leader of a burgeoning cairn.
Aspen is a short, lithe woman with pale skin, freckles, blonde, short hair. Today she's wearing a sundress with practical shoes, done up because there's people here and she needs to present herself well. But very small, very unassuming in regards to the rest of the pack.
So what are we doing here?
We're building a cairn. Do you have any experience with that?
I'm not going to say that I have experience building a cairn, but I lived in one since I was 4. So I know a thing or two about cairns and seps.
Okay, so you've been in a cairn. Do you follow orders well?
Are they good orders?
The best.
You maintain that confidence, I don't think we'll have any problems with me following orders.
Good. Well, Joseph here, he's leading the ritual. Joseph, if you'd like to introduce yourself to him, because you will be working with him closely.
Hi, I'm Joseph Ashspeaker, Ghost Council, and as you probably would assume, Theurge. Yeah, I'll be heading up the right tonight. Probably what you need to know for now. I'll fill you in as things go.
What
She
about
will
the
look
rest of you?
over. She'll look over to Aiden and Jester.
Hi, we already kind of met, but my name's Aiden.
Just Aiden.
We'll see how well you do tonight, and we'll go from there.
Well, mutual.
It's a pleasure. Malicious Jester. Black Furies.
Lucas, something about the name Malicious Jester rings out to you. You've been having the radio on in the car, and you've been passing by various rest stops along the way. And you recall on one particular stop seeing something on the news about a manhunt for a fugitive by the name of Malicious Jester. Now, this particular individual had long red hair, not this shorter black cut hair that you see now, but based off of the sketch that was provided with the news footage, there are some striking resemblances to the individual. The fugitive was expected, or the report was coming from Tampa.
He'll smile. Big smile. I'm a big fan of your work. Big fan. Well, it's not like this isn't awkward, but do you just want me to leave my truck right here?
She'll just kind of soften and smile over to Artie.
Oh, hi. Arthur Garfield. You can call me Artie, Glasswalker, Ragabash. I look forward to some very interesting discussions with you. With two of us around here, it's gonna get really interesting.
Yeah, we're
Artie-
gonna get weird.
Artie stands about 6 feet tall. He has long, sandy, blonde dreadlocks that hang down to and past his shoulders, although some of the dreadlocks appear to be shortened by singes at the end of the hair, as if they were burned off to a certain point, but they are very uneven in how they hang at the moment. He looks otherwise very unassuming, a lithe frame, dressed in a fleece top with a t-shirt for a shitty band underneath, and some ripped up jeans and combat boots. So, Lucas, you said Star called you down here. Everyone else that was brought here had friends with them. But you're alone. Not to quote 90s television, but what up with that?
It's a long story. Been traveling on my own, lone wolfing it for a while. That was one of the reasons why Star said she wanted to grab me. Said I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Well, then you and I might have something in common. Spent my first few years alone. I get that. The gestures towards the glaive. It's a pretty big piece you're packing. How'd you get that? I'm sure there's a story behind that too.
It's a clave. There's always a story behind it. And yeah. When I left and struck out on my own, one of my mentors saw talent. So she passed it on to me before she left.
Neat. Actually, that's something you and Jess over there might have in common.
Maybe. Like to hear more of the story later on.
Right, but today we are very busy. So let's start with, what are your skills? What are you good at, Lucas?
Oh, wow. You said we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna have to condense it down a little bit. I'm good at cutting the cancer out of things. If we're going to be doing this, we're probably going to draw some attention from others like us. Just a shot in the dark. That's kind of where I'm good.
He's not a doctor, Aiden. That was a metaphor.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
then
no,
give me
it's-
doctor.
I don't think he's actually a surgeon.
No.
Are you a doctor?
No, but
You should be very straightforward with him.
That'd be helpful.
okay. I'm really good at killing other Guru.
Oh,
Like any clave bearer should. And he'll stare at Jester.
Well,
Is that where you got it?
Oh, no, it was a gift.
No,
But,
this.
oh, this is a totally different story. We don't have time for that right now.
Well,
He's just full of stories.
that should appeal to you, Jess.
All right, Aspen, do you want him if things go dicey with us?
Probably. It seems like he's more of the fighter type than the spiritual type. And
See,
don't want him getting in the way for Joseph in any way, shape, or form.
I just
Um,
hope it's not all talk.
We'll have you help with the ritual where you can. Do you have any expertise in that at all?
Not that specifically.
Okay.
Have you participated in rites before? You can follow along with him.
Dozens upon dozens upon dozens.
Okay. Joseph will reach into a small satchel and pull out a necklace woven of fibers from willow bark and a small natural cut moonstone. Hand it to Lucas. Wear this.
He takes it and puts it on.
You look around, everyone inside the gardens is wearing one.
It'll keep people from asking questions, at least for now.
Good.
But yes, we will have you participate if you're wanting and willing to do that. And if things go sideways, you will go with. We'll go with Jester.
How are you fighting on the Umbra?
It's the same as fighting anywhere else.
Agreed. I'll show you where to park your truck.
As Jester leads Lucas back to his vehicle and starts leading him off towards where the parking lot is, Artie turns to the rest of you. He's a Ragabash, all right. There's no doubt about that. And definitely a Shadow Lord. Story lines up pretty well, but something off about him.
Yes, we should probably keep an eye on him pretty closely. He's not accounted for, and I still don't trust it with everything going on.
I got eyes. I'll watch him. Ragabash to Ragabash thing.
That's why you're my favorite. Don't tell Aiden. She looks over to Aiden.
Well,
I have
that's
really good
Aiden's
hearing.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, good. Then it's full circle.
So, after Lucas parks the truck, several other guru of various shapes and sizes from various origins and homes all throughout the country start to move into position as the last rays of the sun start to disappear over the western horizon. It's getting closer to summer, so the days are longer, the nights are shorter. But when it comes to Caern Building, it doesn't matter how short the night is. It is full of terrors and extremely dangerous. Because one wrong move, one mistaken utterance, one insult to the spirits beyond can bring horrors from all over, from the deepest nightmares to those that you've encountered before. As the Guru gather, Aspen, the time has come for you to rally the troops, to establish yourself as leader. Off to the side, Matthias Morningkill stands curiously watching to see just how far Aspen has come in this journey and if she does have what it takes to establish herself as a leader. Artie stands very closely next to Aspen, preparing to do whatever she needs and to support her. But as the voices die down, they all look to the leader for guidance.
So first off, Aspen, with everyone gathered around, will have her ancestral conviction, her gift, up with the wolf spirit guiding her. She'll scan the crowd. She'll look for Aiden in the crowd for a little bit of reassurance, as she usually does in these moments. And she will speak up. Welcome, everyone. I want to start by thanking each and every Guru and Ghislaine and spirit that's come to participate in the rebuilding of a too long forgotten cairn. The Pack of the Evening Star will not forget your generosity and our call for aid. She'll scan everyone and kind of do a slight nod. All here will be revered in song and story of our triumphant glory. Your names will be spoken with honor on these grounds. And the wisdom of choosing to be here and participate in this rite will be held in high regard for years to come. This rite is not taken lightly among our kind. And to that, we will be forever grateful for your presence here today. As leader of my pack here, and future Sept leader of the Sept of the Weeping Willow, I'd like to make a promise, an oath of my dedication to the future of these sacred grounds. I vow to uphold the sanctity of this cairn and support all who dwell within the Weeping Willow set. I will maintain the respect of all station of Guru Nation who reside within this territory, and I will fight the worm and defend this cairn of all threats of its presence. I will lead all Guru here with truth and honor, as well as all of Gaia's children. I pledge to protect this cairn in all aspects and ensure this place blossoms into a sept that is respected and valued within this nation. With this promise, I enact the 12th tenet of the litany. I make this blood oath to my pack. To Jessica Bennett, Frost Howler, Arthur Garfield, and Joseph Ash Speaker, with all of you here as my witness. This momentous occasion will go down in history as the day the nation reclaimed its place in Tampa. A history once fraught with loss and heartache will now become one of rebirth and hope. The sacrifices of the ones we've lost along the way, Stone, and she'll look to Aiden in the pack, or in the crowd, Mia, looking towards Jester, Rachel, Ryder, she'll turn to the grave next to Grandmother Willow, and so many others that have sacrificed for us to be here will not be forgotten and have made this day a reality. The Sept of the Weeping Willow will thrive here and in turn pave the way for the Guru within the city to see Gaia flourish and bring new life to all beings who call her home here. I'd like for all of us, in a small way, as the moon crests this night, to have a quiet howl for what is about to take part here today. And she'll scan the crowd and she'll start a howl.
Give me a charisma and persuasion. Yes, you can include your ancestral conviction, and yes, you can include your good looks.
And my favor?
And your favor.
Six.
6 successes. Looking on, Matthias smiles, a small half smile, before he is the second voice to join in the howl, as well as all those who follow him, although the Ghislaine remain at their posts around the borders. The other Garou that have come with him have also joined in the howl. Quickly after, Gibbous and the other Black Furies, shooting daggers kind of over towards Matthias and the obvious Silver Fangs, also join in the howl. Then Duncan and the Gale Stalkers join in. It is a beautiful melody as it rises to the sky. Everyone emboldened by your actions, by your words. That being said, regardless of what happens tonight, everyone can use a 2-die bonus on any roll of their choice based off of the inspiring speech given by Aspen. Just once. On any roll of your choice, just once for the rest of the evening. Eliza didn't quite join in the howl. She remained silent, standing off to the side away from the circle of the others. But she steps forward, and Eliza is, for Lucas's benefit, a older woman, probably nearing her 60s, which is saying something for a Garou, as most don't make it that long. She is dressed in a constellation pattern sundress of her own, though it looks a little bit more ragged and worse for wear than Aspen's attire. She comes forward and speaks. This is a monumentous occasion and very non-traditional. But things have been far from traditional for some time here in Tampa, and it's time for a new age. In order for a new age to be brought about, a new cairn to be erected, we should celebrate the old and put it to rest proper. Now, Jester, I know that you have put together a piece to talk about the last Sept leader, the last remaining member of the old Sept of the Weeping Willow. So we shall celebrate his life and send him on the way it was always meant to be, so that the new leader can officially take her place when this cairn is built and this rite completed. If you would, please, dear.
Winchester will step up. Yes, thank everyone for coming. And tonight, I do want to talk about Ryder, the alpha of the Sept of the Weeping Willow that was. Monster, psycho, asshole. Words I called the Garou before I barely knew him. Rage overtook honor. I did not see the man who once served as Marine, soldier, and alpha. I see him now, what he was then, and what he became in the end. 3 battles, many deaths, perpetrated by the leech Bloody Mary. The first battle, 3 came hunting, Joseph, Cricket, Ryder. In lieu of their prey, Mary waited. Chaos and blood, claws and fangs. One fell, so two could escape. Ryder took up his silver clave to continue the legacy of his fallen leader, Joseph. Vengeance, war, and loss colored Ryder's reign, yet he carried on, leading his brethren in the time of turmoil, torn between waiting and action. What choice saves? What choice dooms? The second battle arose in the dead of night. Mary came, thirsting for blood of our people. 3 were dead before any could act. More followed in the battle that ensued. To protect his sept, Ryder led Mary on a chase through Tampa. Night and day and night they fought. All blood, fire, and rage. When they stopped, both still lived, him forever scarred. His return to the care was far from triumphant, for he found his sept slaughtered. Love lost, heart broken. All that remained was rage, vengeance, death, isolation. While the nation withdrew, he continued the war. For a decade he struck, hid, and struck again, until 5 pups arrived, called. By him? By Gaia? Secrets and ignorance led to explosions, and more maze than one. Innocents found guilty, imprisoned by steel and fangs. Monster, psycho, asshole. Until the final battle. It came after 2 infiltrated the prison to free the innocents. Guards fell to Ryder's strength and cunning. When their charges were in hand, Mary arrived. Rage turned to calm, vengeance to protection, redemption. Ryder held the way and bought time for the pup and her charges. Claws and fangs, chaos and blood. Lost limb, at the end of life, acceptance. Yet the ancestors whispered not yet. Strength filled Ryder like never before. He took of his clave, the clave of Joseph, who was with him, and fought. And for his lost arm, he took Mary's, and it was she who ran. Ryder followed the path of escape and found the pup. With bloody hand and dying breath, he laid the clave into her hands, and a legacy. Monster, psycho, asshole, words I called the Garo I barely knew. No more. Leader, warrior, protector, and I am his legacy.
A silence falls over the crowd, as some actually dip their heads in recognition of the words and of the name Ryder. Others do so respectfully, but ignorant to the weight of the words. After a moment of silence, Eliza steps forward again. I have witnessed many a cairn be built in this very city, in this land of Gaia. I witnessed this cairn be built the first time. I am happy to see it be built again. Some would call me outcast. Others would call me rebel. Some would call me traitor. I prefer to be considered an observer, because while my tribe's methods are not always as approved by the nation as they have been in the past, they have always been in support of Gaia. However, tonight I do not take the role of Rite Master. Joseph Ashspeaker has been training as my protege these past several months. He knows the words, he knows the rites, and he should have all of your respect and follow his lead. And today a glorious cairn shall be built, and a new era will begin. So I ask you, knowing full well that by doing so, a part of you will always be connected to this very place. No matter where you come from, no matter where you go to, a piece of you will always be here. So I ask, who will take part in this rite? Who will represent the 13 moons of the year to ensure that this cairn is erected properly and that this home is created not just for the Guru, but for the spirits as well? She looks to Aspen.
Aspen steps forward. I do, and we'll look to Joseph.
Eliza turns to Aiden.
Yes. Yes.
She looks to Jester.
Jester will step forward. I will.
She then looks to Artie, who is seeming to be leaning forward as if he's ready to step forward, and then the minute her eye hits him, he steps forward, like in a jerking motion, as if he almost stumbles into it. I do, of course. 5 moons have been represented. The pack of the Evening Star takes part in this ritual. Yet 8 more are necessary. Who is willing to tie themselves, to bind themselves to this place as part of this sept, regardless of what homes they return to?
Lucas
Yeah, go ahead.
Lucas pushes forward, like pushes through the crowd because he was in the back, and then steps forward. I'll help.
6. After another moment, Terrence steps forward. I know I might be young. I know I might not have a lot to offer. But this is my home, the first home I've ever had. This pack, he looks over his shoulder to another Guru who stands nearby, who gives him a reassuring nod. This sept welcomed me in my change, guided me into this new life. I will forever be in their debt, and I will serve as soon as I know what I'm doing. After that, Duncan, Gibbous, Mountain's Claw, Trillium, Ravenclaw, Matthias, and surprisingly, Eliza step forward to participate in the ritual. The 13 moons represented, including the 13th, the Stargazer. Very well. Let the rite begin. She looks over to Joseph and gives a wink. Right, Master. It is your time. And as she says those final words, the last light of the sun completely disappears, leaving the sky a dark blanket with stars piercing through up above. You stand at the base of Grandmother Willow, an ancient tree that rises up into the sky above, branches reaching out in various directions, leaves fully sprouted at the edge of those branches. However, they are not completely grown. It seems there is one final act that will ensure life within the tree. It stands sentinel atop a small small rise. Not near any other trees, though there are several throughout the memorial gardens, blanketed in Spanish moss, drifting down, almost touching the ground. But Grandmother Willow doesn't carry such moss. She stands alone, but this evening, she stands amongst Guru once more. Joseph, the floor is yours.
Joseph takes a deep breath. And then a second. And he will activate Penumbral Senses. I would like to take half on this roll, just to ensure that I can get the 3. Take that one easy. So I'm pretty sure the DC here is about 3. My pool is 6. So breathing again, his eyes open to the other side, seeing both overlaid. Taking a look again before saying anything at the preparations he's made to assure they're all ready. And then he'll look to the participants. I would like you each to follow me into the circle. Around Grandmother Willow, there are 13 large stones that have been blackened with coal, with fire. And then on top of the char is painted in silver each of the moon phases as you go from new to full and back to new. As we enter, we will enter from the east, and we will move clockwise to the south, to the west, and around to the north. Each of you will follow me around the circle. I will take this position again, and you will each fill in behind me as we come around the circle. Once we are inside, I will begin the actual ritual. You will know what to do. All you will need to do as we continue is when it is time, you will join me in a song. So it is not too complicated for you all to participate. However, while we are singing, you will feel energy. You will feel spiritual energy moving through you. That is expected. That should happen. It will be intense. It will take your focus. So I ask that you remain focused, and unless something drastic happens, do not leave your post. Do not leave the stone upon where you're going to stand. Do we understand? Perfect. Okay. Take another breath, and he will lead the procession. As he does, he will stop at the gate. He will pick up a small bowl full of herbs. He will strike it with flint and steel and light the herbs. He will enter through the eastern stone and move his way around as everyone fills in their positions. Stopping for a second and breathing again as he sees everyone fill in their positions. He will then process around the circle, starting just to his left. He will take the burning herbs. He will waft them over each participant, cleansing them. He will be whispering to himself at a level that no one would be able to hear besides himself, a few words of cleansing, and then he'll move on to the next participant and the next participant until he reaches back to himself, and he will cleanse himself again. Grandmother Willow, you are the guardian of this place, and we have spoken many times before about what we plan to do tonight. But again, we seek your permission and your protection as we open this sacred ground up to the life and the energy of Gaia. And as we turn this place back into the sacred ground it was before. He will reach into his satchel and he'll pull out a small bundle. As a sign of my dedication and as a bridge to open us up to the other side, I present to you a very small gift, a reminder of the balance that this war and all of Gaia's chosen seek. And he'll reach into that pouch, pull out a small seed. This is a seed from my home, Cairn. Just a small acorn from the hills of West Virginia, brought down here to make something grow big and strong. Again, he'll place it into the little bowl of burning herbs. He'll pull a small silver-looking string. This string is woven from a month's collection of spider webs, reminding us of the weaver's balance and the things that need to stay. And he'll pass that into the bowl. And then he'll lift the bowl up and he'll blow slow and steady until those herbs catch fire and spark upwards. And this fire, as dangerous as it is a reminder of what the worm once was, when it was balanced, and it was the destruction of things whose time has passed, to create the ability and the potential for life again. The wild in its pure creation, in its potential, the weaver in its protection, and the worm in its destruction, all in balance as they should be, and as we will make it so. Again, with a deep breath, he will blow on the bowl until everything is consumed. With that act, I open this cairn to the energy of Gaia, and I call on the protection of Gaia and Luna, and of Grandmother Willow, and of Star, our pack patron, and of the patrons of all participants, and of the patrons of all of the Garu of the nation. Watch over us and protect us as we call upon the power within ourselves, the power within Gaia to reawaken this cairn. He'll reach over beside him where he has set a small Celtic hand drum, and he will slowly start a beat on the drum, and with a quiet voice at first, he will start to sing a song, and he'll get a few verses in telling the story of a warrior who conquered many things and found himself beside a river that he could not cross. And he beseeched an angel to give him guidance. And as he tells the story of these verses, he reaches the chorus of the song, where the angel responds, "Pay no mind to the battles you've won. It'll take a lot more than rage and muscle. Open your heart and hand, my son, or you'll never make it over the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and money. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river." And he'll continue to sing that chorus over and over, and then he'll look to the participants one by one and nod as he starts the chorus, so that the one to his left will start and work his way around the circle until they are all singing together. And at this point, I would like to make my roll for the ritual. I would also like to add the 2 dice from Aspen for inspiration.
Okay.
To explain to everyone this ritual, it is a wisdom and crafts roll. I have a specialty in Cairn rites specifically, and then I add a rage die for every participant. So altogether, I will be rolling 20 dice 13
Actually,
of which, yes.
we've got several individuals in the circle who also know the Rite of Caern Building, so you can gain
Okay.
3 additional non-rage dice to the roll.
I will be rolling 23 dice, 13 of which are rage dice. A little back end information. Any brutal results, pairs of 1s or 2s on rage dice, can lead to complications, let's say. Okay. This is a very large pool.
And we will find out the result of that roll after a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Enjoy some art from our amazing community, and our story will continue. See you in about 5 minutes. we are back. In the first half, we saw the Guru gather. The ritual takes shape. A new Guru come to town. Maybe finding a home, maybe just here to cause trouble. That's to be determined. In the first half, we heard a rousing speech from Aspen, a story from Jester, and a ritualistic song from Joseph. Calling out to the spirits, attempting to awaken the cairn. All of you feel a rush come through you. Gradual at first, slow, almost like a breeze pouring over that grows stronger and stronger. Your eyes start to blink as if they're stinging as you continue to sing. As the tears start to well, your vision starts to blur. And for the first time, all of you have penumbral senses, as everyone in part of the ritual see the world of the Umbra and the world of man, of Gaia, cross and blur. The sky above is inky and dark, but the stars shine brighter than ever before. The tree that stands sentinel above the hill has grown, its limbs outstretched far, far, far above the gravestones, above the open pasture of land, out to the very edges of the cairn. But as they grow stronger and fuller. The stars shine brighter. And from the base of the tree, a white, barky wolf emerges. Spiritual in nature. Its fur a mix of willow bark. It steps out and paces around the circle, studying each and every individual it passes. It pauses momentarily in front of Aiden, looking him up and down and giving out a slight snort before continuing on around the circle. It makes this pacing motion several times before it looks off in alert towards the west. From the western side of the cemetery, everyone make me a wits and awareness check. Four successes from Aiden, 2 from Aspen, 4 from Joseph, 3 from Jester, and 3 from Lucas. Off in the umbral fields beyond, 2 figures start to emerge, loping their way, dragging their way across the umbral plains. As they draw closer and closer, those with 3 or more successes can make out the figures. Large, Krynos werewolves with completely blackened fur, blackened eyes, jaws open, black ink spilling from the maws. Roll me an intelligence and occult. Two successes from Aiden. 4 successes from Joseph, 0 from Jester. Aiden and Jester, these look like monstrous Krynos werewolves that have been completely corrupted by the worm. From myth and from legend and from story, one title stands out to you: Black Spiral Dancers. But Joseph, as you stare closer, you gain a sense that yes, while these are corrupted Garou, they are dead and have been for a long, long time. As the two starving remnants make their way forward, encroaching upon the plain, carrying with them the hate, the malice, and the poison of the worm, as well as their own unfinished business. Aiden, Jester, and Lucas, Eliza looks to you and says, "The way is open. Go."
Let's go.
I'm grabbing the clave. From the side, Jester will unwrap the clave, which is not as large as Lucas's, and the end apparently does clearly appear to be broken.
So as you step from your positions of the circle, as you step out of the circle, you find that you are fully within the Umbra now, having crossed completely over, unable to see what remains of the world behind you. Looking back, you don't even see the other participants standing in the circle. You only see shades of what you can guess are just their presence on that side. Moving forward, the two starving remnants draw closer and closer, and as they do so, we enter into combat. Declare your first intentions. Starting with Aiden.
Going Krynos. Going to rush to the one on the right and try and get him into a full grapple.
Okay. Jester, what's your intention?
I'm going to howl at the moon first and gave my extra point of rage. And the howl will lead into a song, which I will sing Song of Rage. I'm pulling it up.
And Lucas, what is your intention?
I am going to shift into Galabro, draw the clave, and ready to use Fatal Flaw on the one on the right.
Okay.
The opposite one that Aiden went after.
So both of you who are shifting, make your rage checks to make the transitions. Aiden, did you say you were going full Krynos?
Yep.
Okay, so that'll be 2 rage checks from you, 1 rage check from Lucas.
I'm good.
Okay, without losing any rage, on top of the rage Jester gained from howling at the moon, everybody can gain an additional rage, as this is a interference with the Rite of Caern Building, which is enough of an insult to cause your rage to grow. This means, Jester, you were at 3 rage. Aiden and Lucas, you are both at 2. Jester, what song did you wish to sing?
It will be a very throat singing tribal song, but it's basically Wolf Totem by The Who.
Okay.
And I made my rage check, and so everybody in my pack can gain an extra rage.
All right.
I'm
so
not
that
sure if-
brings you to, or does it include you?
No, it does not include me.
Okay, so that brings all of you to 3 rage. Aiden, I need a strength and a brawl. However, if you are engaging at the same time you've shifted without rapid shift, you will be at a -2 dice, not -2 successes.
And I can use my specialty.
You can use your specialty, yes. Lucas, if you are going to be using Fatal Flaw, why don't you read off what the cost and what the description of that particular ability is?
All right, Fatal Flaw. Guru observes a target intently with the spying spirit, discerns a weakness in their prey. It is a glory, 1 willpower, intelligence plus glory, burst composure, and subterfuge. First thing it lets me do is it allows me to discern an extra way to do aggravated damage if there is not an extra way of doing aggravated damage that I don't already know, and he's just assuming these are Black Spiral Dancers, that it would just give me +1 dice on attacks.
Okay. So there is not an extra way for you to do it, but you will get the +1 dice on your attacks. Not that you don't already know, I should say. Okay. 7 successes from Aiden on his attempt to brawl and grapple. Lucas, are you attacking this round also, or are you just... You've already shifted. Is the gift listed as a minor gift?
Full.
Okay, so you will...
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you will not be able to do anything else in this round. So Aiden, as you go to grapple the creature, as soon as you get up close and are locked in with it, you can feel that its muscles aren't as thick. And looking in its eyes, they are very much vacant and empty. And the last time you experienced this was in the Umbra, fighting a starving remnant that was once Orion, the protege of Eliza Ross. As you do grab onto it, you do get a good locked-in grip to it, and you do pierce your claws into it, so you do have it grappled up, and it does look like you have done a little bit of damage to it. The other one, however, is going to unleash an attack, whipping its claws out, that is going to strike both Lucas and Jester at the same time. Jester and Lucas, I need you to make dexterity and athletics rolls. However, you will be at a -2 dice, Jester, because you did use the song. Lucas, you are also at a -2 dice from the transition. Okay. So, as this is a claw attack, both of you will take 4 points of superficial damage already halved to your forms as you are struck by the claws rending outwards, hitting both of you. Next round, declare your intention, starting with Aiden.
So I got him in a...
You do
Full
have
grip
him
right now.
grappled, and you do seem to be in control of the grapple right now.
Okay. I'm going to go in for a bite on his...
Okay, that'll be
Can
another...
I got...
Yep, another strength and brawl. Jester, what's your intention?
Okay, there we go. I'm shifting to Krynos, and if I shift this round, can I also heal once I've shifted?
You can heal. You would declare your healing first, and then shift, and then
Right.
declare your action.
Okay.
So yes, you can make... Are you trying to get the healing from Krynos?
Yes.
That would have to wait until next turn, after the shift
Okay.
is completed.
Then I'm just shifting this round, and
Okay.
because I'm in Hamid form, so I can't heal in Hamid.
So that'll
And
be
then
2 rage checks.
yeah, and then I'm attacking.
And
I'll
that'll be
attack the one that attacked us.
Okay, strength and brawl -2 dice from the transition. And
Okay.
Lucas, what is your...
I am going to be striking out with the clave, and is healing a minor action or is it full action?
It is a free action. You can do it every round. The regeneration costs nothing.
And then I will regenerate.
Okay, so as you are in Glabro form, it is 1 rage check to heal 1 superficial. And Jester, are you using the clave or are you striking out with...
I'm using the clave.
Okay, you want to use the clave in Krynos? Okay, so then
Yeah.
you can roll a strength and melee attack. You do gain the bonus physical dice, though. You won't get the additional damage of, claws or bite, but you will get the bonus dice from being in Krynos form.
Cool.
No penalty on this attack, correct?
No penalty on the attack from... Yeah, for you, no. You have
Cool. So,
completed your transition.
6 then.
Okay.
I'm spending a willpower.
I will heal 2 and lose 1 rage.
Okay.
That'll make my clave attack.
I also lost a rage when changing.
Okay.
I got 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. And Lucas?
Spendable power. Seven successes.
Okay. So Aiden, as you are locked up with the starving remnant and you are in full grapple, being pushed back and forth, trying to wrestle for control, you attempt to bite, but it manages to knock your bite away and bite down instead on your shoulder, doing 2 points of aggravated physical damage as it does so, clamping down with its teeth, biting into the same black ichor, making the wound sting. On the other side, Lucas, you do manage to bring in your clave, slicing across the starving remnant, cutting into its flesh. Jester, as you also try to swing, it manages to sidestep out of the way of yours, which brings it further into Lucas's blow, driving it in. The silver does not seem to have any additional effect, which is telling that these are not, in fact, Black Spiral Dancers, at least not anymore. But the clave does still slice in pretty significantly into the creature. Jester, you do not take any damage, but you do miss with your attack. Next round, declare your intentions.
Still grappled, or did I back away after getting hit?
You are still grappled at the moment. Or, well, they managed to break the grapple and bite you, effectively.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take a step back, do a rage check, and follow up with Razor Claws.
Okay.
I lost a rage.
That brings you down to 2 rage.
Yeah.
And go ahead and describe what Razor Claws does. We've seen you use it several times in the past, but for a reminder for our learning people in the audience.
Yeah. So the Gru's claws grow longer, sharper, extra shiny. What it does, this gift is a free instantaneous, while in the Krynos form, add half of the Gru's glory rounded up to the damage of their claws.
Okay. And that's to the damage, not to the attack.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, you can roll your strength and brawl. Jester, what's your intention?
Well, it didn't burn from the silver that attacked him, right?
It did not burn from the silver, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the clave up. We're going claws.
Okay. So you'd probably have to drop the clave to the side as you have nothing to sheath it in, as you're a big hulking furry monster. So just dropping it to the ground, you're gonna just go with your claws and go in on it.
Yes, and I will be healing first. Forgot to say that. I did make my rage. Yeah, since I made it, I'll be using Raging Strike as well. Raging Strike, for a rage check, I can gain my glory, which is 2 in dice to the attack.
Okay. And Lucas.
Continuing to stay in Galabro, and I will make another attack with the clave.
Okay. So that'll be a strength and melee. So Aiden, how many successes on your strike?
That was, 8 with a crit.
8 with a crit. Okay. And you're using your claws.
Yep, claws.
Okay. And Jester.
Hold on, I'm spending a willpower. Dice are mean to me tonight. Seven successes.
Okay. And Lucas.
7 for me too.
All right. So, Aiden, as you go in with your claws, you break through the defenses of the starving remnant, raking your claws across the long razor-sharp points, digging deep into the flesh and rending a good section of it off of the creature, and it almost breaks apart so easily under the scrape of your claws and starts to deteriorate as it rakes across. Jester and Lucas, clave and claws, You both go in. It tries to rake across and hit both of you again with a supernatural quickness of a gift supporting it, but it is just not fast enough. You defend against parrying with the clave before bringing it back across and cutting across the section of the creature, ripping open another wound, Jester aiding by sticking both claws and raking outwards, tearing the flesh apart. However, back at Grandmother Willow, Aspen and Joseph, you continue the rite, continue pouring your will and your energy into Grandmother Willow, into the cairn, attempting to provide and build for the cairn. Aspen, a voice comes to you and starts to speak. At first, the voice sounds unfamiliar, but then it sounds like Hay Hots. Easily gone, easily forgotten. This is your home now. This is your family now. Have you forgiven yourself so easily? Moved on so easily? Have you embraced the monster that you are after what you did to me? Aspen, I need you to make a... Okay, I need you to make a willpower test, which would be your composure or your unspent willpower. No rage dice included, as this particular voice tries to stoke the bitter rage within you and provoke you.
So I have full will, so that's 6.
Yep, so 6 dice.
Two.
2 successes. Okay. Okay. Take 2 points of superficial willpower damage. But you have an opportunity to respond if you'd like.
She'll look over to Joseph, wide-eyed, and whisper a little bit louder, but still quiet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. And you're not forgotten.
Joseph, you also are experiencing some distraction, even though you try to keep up the song, try to keep up the chanting. You do your best to try and maintain your focus, but the spirit comes to you and speaks. You've tried to learn, but what did you expect? Rites with Grandmother Willow have never ended well for you, have they? What's going to make this one any different? Perhaps this is where you kill her once and for all. Make a composure and resolve check.
So this is a willpower check, and I can't spend willpower on it, right?
It is not a willpower check. This is a composure and
Okay.
resolve check, so you can spend willpower.
Then I would like to do that. That is 2 successes.
Okay. So as the words speak, you feel like there are claws digging into your shoulders and poison being muttered into your ear as you take 2 points of superficial will and health damage. What do you wish to say in response, if anything, or do you just try and keep the song going?
I will keep the beat going, and then as we go between the verse, I'll say, "This time I'm not alone," and then hit the drum even harder as we go into the next chorus.
Aspen, the voice in your ear changes this time to Ryder. You were never gonna let me in because you knew you could never be as good a leader as I was. And if I couldn't succeed, how can you? Go ahead and make another willpower check.
So it would be four this time?
For this time.
4.
Okay, now you can react with true passion and resolve. You can deny this voice, and in doing so, damage it.
I am the leader, and I've done everything for this pack, and you won't stop that, whatever you are.
You hear a wince and a rasp as the voice tries to pull it, like, is forced back from you by your words. Joseph. The voice continues to you, the claws digging in deeper. But you are alone, Joseph. Because Meemaw isn't around. You've been alone ever since she died. No matter how many you surround yourself with, you'll always be alone. Composure and resolve.
That's 4.
Okay, you can respond with conviction behind your words, damaging the spirit in the process.
I'm not alone, and she never left me. She's everywhere now. You can't escape her.
You feel the claws slightly unhinge from your shoulders, pulling back, trying to drag themselves further and trying to hinge themselves into your skin, trying to hook in, but they can't. They're being pushed out. Back to the Umbra. We'll return to this in just a moment. Next round, declare your intentions, starting with Aiden.
Clarifying question. To pick up a Gru and then try and rip them apart, would that be 2 separate altercating, or could I do that all in one?
That would be like a descriptive text. However, I will say that you will have to get a shit ton of successes to make that happen, because you've got to do essentially the remaining damage to them to tear them apart. You could try to lift them up, but if you don't get enough successes, you're not even going to be able to do that, let alone rip them apart.
Okay, but that is something you could do all
Sure.
Of
It's
cool.
just really just a flavor text to a finishing blow, effectively.
Okay, would that be a called shot then?
No.
Cool.
You're basically just trying to rip this thing in half. You don't care which half or which
I don't-
section of the body you do it from.
Cool.
It does look like it is fairly stout, though. It does. I mean, it's not on death's door or anything. So you would need a lot of success. You've basically been doing superficial damage to it this whole time.
All right, I'll hold off. I'll keep that on the back burner.
Okay,
I'll
so
just regular. I just attack with my claws. Just reach forward and
Okay.
Swipe at him.
Jester, declare your intention.
Healing. Or, yeah, I'm attempting to heal again.
Okay.
That actually loses me a point of rage. And yeah, screw it. Yeah, I'm still attacking him.
Okay. Are you using teeth or claws?
Claws.
Okay. So you go to rake your claws. That'll be strength and brawl for both Aiden and Jester. Lucas.
So Jester is obviously towering high above me. So I'm going to try to utilize being the smaller of everything that is in this current fray and slip around this thing and try to get behind it, shifting to one hand on the clave and just kind of like planting my hand on the ground and pushing myself to try to slide out from in between the both of them and get behind it so that we're flanking it on either side.
Okay.
And then attack it.
Give me a manipulation and dexterity, because you are going to try to slip behind this thing. If you are successful in the next round, you will get an advantage on your attack. But if you are not successful, you are not able to flank it. You are essentially still, it's turning to face whatever direction you're coming from.
Hey, Kent.
Yeah.
For how brutals work, is it 2 1s or 1 and 2 equal 1 brutal?
2 1s or 2 2s. I do not believe it is a mix
So
of
1 and 2 don't make a brutal.
No, I
Those
think
are
it's
just failures. Okay.
Actually, I think it is 1 and 2. I think if you get a 1 and a 2, those would still count as a brutal.
So.
Yes.
Okay. And those plus, when doing damage,
It's
those
basically like a critical. It explodes into 4 if
Yeah.
you're doing
okay.
physical damage.
9 with a brutal.
Okay. Jester?
9 with a critical.
Jesus Christ. Okay. And Lucas?
4.
4 on your attempt to sidle around. Okay. So, in the process of trying to sidle around it, Lucas, you do get struck with the claw that sends you toppling backwards, giving you an additional 4 superficial damage, or already halved, kind of sending you sprawling back onto the ground. You keep a firm grasp of your clave, but you're not going to be able to make any kind of advantageous attack on this thing at this point. Jester, seeing the opening provided by the creature trying to push back Lucas, you go in, claws out, and just rake into the opening, again, tearing outwards, ripping open the torso of the creature, causing it to just tear apart at the center. Not completely, but enough to rake across the front and take out a good chunk of its torso. Next round, declare your intentions.
Did mine not do
Oh,
anything?
sorry, Aiden, yes.
Okay.
I got distracted. Aiden, you
Okay.
also successfully managed to break through its defenses, and you get in really close and rake down the front. And because of the success of your damage, you think you have wounded it fairly significantly as you bring both claws down the front, and you can see the entire torso start to split open and break apart and dissolve away. Another good hit like that will probably do it.
All right, going for the rip and pull.
Okay. And Jester, what's your intention?
Digging in. I think I'm going for a bite.
Okay. And Lucas, you can get back to your feet. If you'd like to heal, you can do that, but then declare your intention.
I will in fact heal, and then I will strike out with the clave.
Okay, that'll be a strength and melee.
I'm using a Raging Strike again.
Okay.
I made my thing.
Just 7, regular 7, nothing special about it.
to spend another willpower.
Okay.
Seven successes.
Okay, 7 successes. And Lucas.
Spent a willpower, 8 successes.
Okay. We will resolve this combat in just a moment, turning back to the cairn. Aspen. The next voice that comes to you is the voice of Matthias. Miss Weiss, you brought me all the way out here. I participated in your ritual. You're right. But it's like investing in something that is doomed to fail. I thought I saw potential in you. I thought you were capable. But after that pathetic excuse for a speech you just gave, I can tell that this is just going to be history repeating itself, and another leader will let this all fall apart. This time make a composure and resolve check, not a willpower check.
While this is happening, can I look over to Artie and make sure he's doing okay?
Looking over to Artie, give me a wits and insight. You can do that after your composure and resolve. Start with the composure and resolve, and if you're not distracted, you can try and...
Yeah, that's another 4.
4 successes. You may react with conviction, doing more damage to the spirit, the Bane.
And that's 3 on my wits and insight.
Okay, so what would you like to say to the Bane first before you look over to Artie?
If I can manage to shake it off instead of saying something to it, it kind of also depends on Artie's kind of
okay.
reaction.
Looking over to Artie, you can see his brow is extremely furrowed, and he's trying to keep up with the song, keep up with the verse, but you do see that there is some sign of tears having come down from his eyes.
Okay, then seeing that and Joseph and all of this, she's gonna let out a howl instead of saying anything. She's gonna let out another howl, and I would like to do Howl of Assembly.
Okay. Go ahead and describe what Howl of Assembly does.
Yes, Howl of Assembly is a gift that allows me to howl and people within the vicinity heal a willpower. And I roll a charisma and honor against a difficulty of 2. And anything within or above the margin is another 100 meters to any guru that needs willpower healing.
Give me that charisma and honor. And actually, I'll say you can include your favor in that as well. As you are trying to lead, you are trying to help others. You are not worrying about yourself. This is not a selfless action. This is the actions of a leader trying to regain the battlefield.
Okay, that's 5 then.
5 successes. Okay. Joseph, Aspen, and everyone else in the circle regains a willpower. As they do, you see them embolden and their voices grow louder and stronger. Joseph. Even if you win, you won't have this kind of help later. It'll just be you and the few others left behind. So sure, you might win this day, but you will lose the war. She is already dead. Composure and resolve.
I'm gonna spend that willpower that I just got gifted. That's 3 successes.
Okay, 3 successes. That is enough, again, for you to react, to respond, to give some sort of defiant action to this thing.
If she were dead, we wouldn't be here, and new ones wouldn't be born. You are lying out of fear.
It recoils and rasps. Both Banes do as they withdraw. And as you both are now becoming more aware, regaining control of yourself, you can see the hovering darkness that is behind you, attempting to get its grasps on you. You can see it in front of you as if it were physical, as if it were present. As the Umbra and Gaia's natural world have blended, you are seeing them in their true forms behind you. Joseph, yours is a little bit unusual. It looks to be almost wraith-like, black and shadowy, glowing red eyes and claws on either hand, but the claws almost look like daggers themselves that have grown out of the hands as you stare into the eyes of a psychomachie that has been attempting to manipulate you. Aspen, behind you, you see a... Oh, let's see how we can describe this. This is a... Well, this is a bitter rage. They appear as a explosive cluster of spiritual energy, almost like little explosions or fireworks going off that burn red, trying to stoke your fury, trying to send you into a frenzy, but failing to do so far. Now, you can declare your intentions as if it were combat.
So we can attack it even though we're on this side.
You can attack it however you wish.
Okay.
You can attack it with words. You can attack it with physicality. It is prone to however you decide to, whether it's social combat or physical combat.
Then looking around at everybody and seeing the kind of distraught faces on some of them, I would like to go into Krynos.
Roll me the 2 rage checks.
I am good.
I would like to go to Glabro.
And roll me the rage check.
I'm good.
All right. So as you make your transitions, we will go back and resolve the combat currently ongoing further into the Umbra. To say this was once a challenge before, and to show the growth that both Aiden and Jester have gone through since their first encounter with such a creature, would be an understatement. As Aiden does, in fact, lift the remnant above his head and tear with the remaining parts of its torso holding it together, just tear it apart, biting down to ensure that the rip further pulls this creature into 2 halves, which as they fall off to either side immediately begin to wilt and wither and fade away. Through a combined effort of Jester and Lucas going low, Jester going high, a similar effect takes place, except the halves go in opposite directions as Lucas brings the clave across and Jester, grabbing on with a bite, tears the head off of the creature, causing it also to decay and wither and fall apart. Now, I need all 3 of you to make me a wits and awareness check. 3 from Aiden, 3 from Jester, 3 from Lucas. You don't see anything else coming on the horizon. But looking back towards the tree, towards the base of the ritual, you see the black shadowy spirits emerging from the ground in various forms, encircling and infecting those that are still performing the ritual. If you can make a successful dexterity in athletics, you will be able to join Aspen and Joseph in their next round and help them defeat their spirits.
Four.
4 from Aiden,
Yeah, 4.
4 from Jester, 3 from Shaw. That's enough. Having completed your transformation, Aspen and Joseph, off in the Umbra, you can see the remains of the starving remnants torn asunder, and you can see your companions turning to face and move towards you, going to assist in the destruction of the spirits that are interfering with the ritual. Aiden, Jester, and Lucas, because of your successful dexterity and athletics, you can also regain a willpower each from hearing the call of your leader, or what potentially might one day be your leader, in the case of Lucas, bolstering your efforts and calling you to assemble to remove this threat. Now, declare your intentions, starting with Aiden, then Aspen, then Jester, then Joseph, then Lucas. Aiden.
Aiden's going to immediately see the Bane in front of Aspen and run over to it, try and get behind it. Seeing her, I can see her going into Krynos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He's going to try and grab hold of it and try and restrain it so she can have just an opening to attack.
Okay. Aspen.
I'm going to rend the Bane
You're
with
going
my claws.
Oh, rend the Bane with your claws. Okay. I thought you said bend, which I was very confused by. Jester.
Do any of the spirits have their hooks in anyone?
Artie.
Okay. So, question.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use my intimidation to give a roar to scare it out of Artie.
Okay.
Does that count as a full action?
I would consider that an attack because it could do willpower damage to the Bane, which would lessen its abilities to do things. So yes, I would consider that social combat.
Cool.
Joseph.
Okay, so question on shifting. Is the rage checks from any form or from like Hamid, Lupus? So like if I go from Hispo or from Glabro to Krynos, is that still 2?
It's still
or is
2.
that 1?
Yeah, it's
okay.
2 regardless of what form you shift into. I mean, regardless of what form you shift from.
I'm just going to start pummeling the spirit in front of me.
Okay, so that'll be strength and brawls for Aspen and Joseph and Aiden. Jester, you're doing manipulation and intimidation, trying to scare it back. Okay, and then Lucas, declare your intention.
With everything that's happening, the cacophony of noise, the movements of large furry creatures, I'm going to try to slip into the background and become not visible to these things. So I'm going to try to stealth.
Okay.
And make my way to the one that's attacking Artie.
Okay, dexterity and stealth. So, 6 successes from Aiden, 6 successes from Aspen, 2 successes from Joseph, attempting to pummel, 7 successes from Jester. Okay. So.
Let me spend a willpower.
Oh, you're gonna spend a willpower? Alright.
I did spend a willpower. I also used the +2 dice bonus.
Okay.
That was also with a crit.
Holy moly. Okay, so your 2 successes turned into 7 successes, Joseph. So, let me get this right. 6 from Aiden, 6 from Aspen, 7 on the intimidation from Jester, 7 on the pummeling from Joseph. And Lucas, what was your stealth? 6. The dice are being very kind tonight. Aiden, you are able to successfully tie up the Psychomachie making its form even more physical, binding up the arms and tying it around and pulling in these motes of light and these little explosions that are happening as Aspen begins rending through the flesh, or well, it's not even flesh, through the spiritual energy, ripping it apart, causing some of the sparks to just immediately die out and disappear, almost like ash dropping to the ground. Jester giving out a defiant roar in the direction of Artie. You do see after a moment it unhooks and pulls back and appears to be another one of these spiritual wraiths that is similar to the one attacking Joseph. As you do so, Artie seems to shake his head and blink a few times and then catch back in with the song that is being sung outward. Joseph, at first it seemed like you were going to do nothing to this wraith as it started to back away. But then, giving yourself a little extra push, you drive both of your fists in a cross pattern into the sides of the wraith, and you can feel physicality, even though it should just be wispy and like you would pass through it. You connect, and if spirits like this could express, there is a sudden alarm and surprise on its face as you drive both of your fists into it, making contact. Lucas, because of everything that's going on, you do successfully seem to drop below the sight of the veins that are hovering about, moving your way up towards the one near Artie. In the next round, Lucas, when you attack, your difficulty is 1, as you will get a surprise attack. Everyone declare your intentions once again.
Going to try and squish this thing smaller. You said it's like a bunch of like little explosions. Trying to push it into itself.
Trying to almost collapse it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that would be a strength and brawl.
Okay. All right.
Aspen.
I am going to just continue to try and rip at it.
Okay. Give me another strength brawl. Jester. You have spooked the Psychomachia out of Artie, but it is now facing you.
Oh yeah, I am leaping into a pounce on it.
Okay. So that would be a strength and brawl as well. And Joseph.
Hopefully doing the same thing as last time.
That would be very lucky. And Lucas, using the clave?
Yes, so it looks like there's just about 2 people on every bane, except for Joseph. He's fighting one by himself.
Well, it's you and Jester on Artie's bane. He is not fighting it. He's still trying to pursue the ritual.
Then I will continue with my attack. I'm just going to come up low and just straight up as fast as I can.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the 2 dice.
9 6.
I would like to spend a willpower, please.
Okay.
I'm good at 2 things. This is one of them.
This happens to be one of them. Seven successes from Aspen. Okay. Jester.
12 successes with 2 crits.
Okay. Joseph. 4 successes. Okay.
I'm proud of those 4.
Nine for me.
Okay. The dice have been exceptionally kind. So to put it simply, Aiden, with Aspen's help, you are able to squish and put out what remaining sparks of energy are within the bitter rage as you squish it into almost a pulp, causing it to just drop like ash out of your hands to the ground, sprinkling down. Jester, your distraction with the claws, which you do make contact and start to rake through, is enough for Lucas to bring up the clave from behind and just slice up the center, causing the shadows to separate in the middle, one red eye on either side, before they dissipate and just completely vanish. And Joseph, You punch and just throw your fists into this creature, and it just starts to retreat and back up. And after taking another hit, it turns and immediately starts to flee, leaving the area and heading towards the Spirit Wilds. You have successfully defended the cairn. As you shift out of Krynos, for those that are in Krynos, you do drop down to 1 rage. The scene is yours.
I'm going to get my clave.
Of course. Yeah, I didn't assume you were going to leave that in the Umbra.
Lucas is gonna go down to one knee, reach over and pull the Velcro on the armored vest that he's wearing, which is just absolutely wrecked and ruined, and just toss that on the ground, and then just kind of sit back and lean against one of the standing stones. He doesn't look fantastic, but he's still breathing.
Aspen is going to make sure she drops back down into Hamid and stands right on her spot, waiting for Joseph.
Joseph will stay in Glabro, pick the drum up, and louder than ever repeat the chorus for everyone to join in.
Aiden will
Just-
make his way over to his spot.
Jester will return, clave in hand, hold a hand out for Lucas. You fought well.
He'll grab the hand, pull himself up. Shouldn't have dropped the clave, but damn good.
They weren't really black spiral dancers.
Fair.
We should get back.
Yep. I'm good. Go to your spot. I'll stay right here.
I'll return to my spot.
Returning to your positions, taking up the song, you continue the process. The time passes smoothly, uninterrupted. The Banes cleansed, the remnants destroyed. And as the song grows and grows and continues, the spirits grow. The various hovels that have been built all around the cairn. Life finds its way in. Whether it's a bird flying to a bird nest, whether it's a squirrel crawling up into a perch in a tree, whether it's a plant growing from the ground like a flower. Life fills the cairn for the first time in a very, very long time. The forces of the worm would not be successful this day, as Joseph, despite 2 brutal outcomes, successfully managed 11 successes in the building of the cairn. And as life fully enters Grandmother Willow once again, the leaves bloom fully. And a sigh emits from the tree. It stretches, and its branches reach out even further to the very borders of the cairn itself. Little lights, spiritual motes emanate in response from the various hovels all around the grounds. Runes grow on some of the stones that have been placed. The cairn is built. It is complete. And as the morning rays beat down from up above, Joseph, you may conclude the ritual.
With one last repetition of the chorus, he lets out a howl, looks around at all the new growth, sets down his drum calmly, quietly. Drops down to his knees, looks to the others to follow suit. Thank you, Gaia. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, Grandmother Willow. Thank you, Star, and all the patrons throughout the Umbra. Thank you to the spirits who have come to join us. And he looks to all the participants and everyone else out throughout the cairn. And thank you to all who came and left their mark on this place. The sept of the Weeping Willow is reborn, and with it is the promise to keep this land safe and to fight the worm wherever it lies. We hope that the nation sees this and remembers the act of so many this night, and that we can rebuild the connections that came before. As you return home, as the days go on, remember what you did here and the sacrifice you were willing to make. I was taught so long ago to leave a place better than you found it. And tonight, we did. Another howl, a couple hoops and hollers. He gets up and he hugs the person on the side of him, whoever it may be. And he laughs a
Eliza.
little. Yeah. Gives
That she
Eliza
was
a
the
big hug.
13th and you were the first, right next
Yeah.
to each other.
Gives Eliza a big hug and looks to the 11th and everyone and goes around and gives everyone hugs. Kegs tapped. Let's have some fun.
There is a resounding sound of victory in various ways. The Black Furies just let out a guttural scream. Even Ravenclaw goes, "Yeah!" And they all start to move towards the buildings, towards the merriment and the joy and the celebration, leaving just the pack and Eliza and the newcomer, Lucas, to have a moment to themselves before joining in the revelry.
Aspen will just run over to Joseph real quick, give him another big hug, kind of tussle his hair a little bit. You did it.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a rage check and try to heal a little bit.
Okay.
While still in Glabro.
Yeah.
I'm going to check on Artie.
Artie, roll me a wits and insight.
Three successes.
As you walk up to check on him, he seems distracted, as if he's looking somewhere else. But as you approach, hey,
You okay?
I think so.
You can say no.
No, I'm not.
Pull him into a hug.
He is kind of loose in the hug at first, but eventually you feel the arms wrap around you. And you hear a little bit of a choked sob that he tries to stifle and hold back.
I'll just hold him.
The last time I heard his voice was my first change. And then he just falls quiet. Lucas, what's going through your mind right now? The cairn is complete. You did what at first you were brought here to do.
Lucas just kind of, after everything's said and done, sits back down and leans back against the standing stone that he was next to. He's just kind of lolling his head back, holding onto his clave. Doesn't look fantastic, but he's trying to recompose himself. But he's happy, so he's kind of smiling, but he also looks a little concerned.
Eliza, the old woman, makes her way over to you and shuffles, and then, with a groan, using the gravestone to lower herself down to the ground. You need help?
No, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to remember the license plate of that truck. It was going very fast, and it hurt a lot. But I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, you will be. This lot, they're annoying. They're pushy. They're obnoxiously charming. They're young. They're dumb. But they beat the odds. And for outcasts like us, they can give you a place. They did it for me. Brought me back from the very brink. If you open up your heart to them, it'll be in good keeping. But you're gonna have to tell the truth.
Yeah, that's the that's the part I am not looking forward to, especially because it sounds like you just described to me, which is both exciting and concerning. But yeah, I should probably do that.
I ain't an idiot, Lucas Shaw. Your name isn't unknown to me. And if you don't come clean, it becomes known to them. It's going to be a very much more difficult conversation. I
But, I mean,
tried
it's
to
gonna.
push them away. They don't stop
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, that's fair. That's familiar. It's going to be a difficult conversation anyway, so let's just pull this band-aid off and just get it over with.
Probably ain't for the worst. But if you ever need a place to escape the whole kumbaya of it all, I got a little trailer. You come see me. I ain't one for all this either.
Well, sounds like a fantastic offer. Do you have a yard?
It's gotten nicer, thanks to this lot. It used to be just an overtangled mess of beer cans and weeds. But now it's something more. Yeah,
I'll make it better.
I'm sure
And
you
he'll
will.
push himself up and slide the clave back into his sheath, and he'll look and find Aspen and just beeline straight towards her.
Aspen walks by Aiden, gives his hand like a little squeeze, and then heads over to Artie.
I'll hand Artie over to Aspen when she approaches.
She'll like come over happy and excited, kind of see his face, and just not say anything, kiss his forehead, and hug him.
I'm so proud of you, Aspen. You did it.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
And it'll be okay. I heard some things too. So
You're so strong. I knew you were so strong. It's one of the things I'm fondest of about you.
The word is love.
I need a few minutes, if that's okay. I just don't want anyone to see me like this. I'm gonna clean up. That's all right.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too. And gives
She'll-
her hand a squeeze and then turns and starts to move away. Lucas
She'll go back to the
approaches.
pack. You did good. Pretty quiet for somebody who just, rebuilt a cairn.
We should be dancing.
We should go grab a drink. I didn't make any tea.
We'll find you some water, Aiden.
Good. Don't need nothing against your leaf water. It's just. I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
this is grass water tonight. He'll go over and grab a red Solo cup of beer. Take a swig.
She'll pat Lucas on the back. Come on.
Pick up a second and hand it to Lucas. Here. You fought well.
He'll take it and then kind of like rub his face for a second. All right, let's get some shit straight here. If I'm going to stick around and you guys are going to do the nice thing to me and I'm going to do the nice thing to you, we're going to make some things clear. And I'm not trying to dictate terms. I'm just trying to be transparent. He'll pull the rest of his ruined vest off, and on his chest you'll see a large tattoo of a Kinseeker symbol. Over the Kinseeker symbol, you'll see a strike going from one end to the other, as if it's been no longer validated. That was my first job. Not long after my change and I was trained, I did the kin-seeking thing, right? A lot of young people do it. It's a job. Found some cubs, got lucky. But then I kind of saw some stuff, and long story short, I won't drag you through the investigative and following and shadowing and all the other garbage, but I found out the three of them were starting to head down the spiral. So I went and told the set. They didn't believe me. Cubs can't find the spiral on their own. That's what they told me. I don't know. But they wouldn't believe me, so I went back to watch them some more. Got a little close. They saw me. So I had to do what I had to do. So when I brought back proof, they weren't so happy with me. And now I don't get to Kinseek anymore, and I don't get to be in my sept anymore, and I don't get to live with the family I grew up with. So you can think about me what you want. That's fine. Believe me, don't believe me, doesn't matter to me. I've dealt with it for enough time already. But just know that if I'm going to be here, and I do want to be here, when it comes down to it, I'm going to do it. Sometimes you need somebody to do that. But I'm also never going to lie to you. That's a weird statement coming from a Shadow Lord. Trust me, it really is. But as long as you don't lie to me, and he'll look right at Aspen, and you don't bullshit any of us, and you make good decisions, I'd like to stick around.
Must have
Listen,
been lonely.
Lucas.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jester. Go ahead.
It must have been lonely being away from everything you knew for so long. We've all experienced a bit of loneliness lately.
Let's just say that what was there with those cubs that day didn't fully go away.
Does it ever?
That's not exactly what I mean, but stuff follows me. So it wasn't entirely lonely, but not the kind of company you want to keep.
Okay. Listen. We made a mistake of not bringing someone in that made a lot of mistakes. And it led to his downfall. Maybe his redemption, but also his downfall. And I personally don't want to see that happen again. But you come with a lot of baggage, it sounds like. Can I trust you to listen to this pack? Not just me, the pack as a whole.
Okay. I can listen.
Okay. Then I won't deny you. The others may have their opinions. But we've got a long road ahead of us. And there's a lot you need to learn really quickly. And there's a lot we need to learn more about you really quickly. So as long as you're open to it, I'm open to it.
Sounds like a good conversation over a beer.
How are you in Thunder?
I don't hear it so much anymore, but now that I'm down here, he likes it down here. I know that. So we'll see.
Well, one of the previous sub-leaders was a Shadow Lord, so
That's a awkward statement. We'll cross that bridge at some other point. That's not a topic for right now. But I would like to make an offer on one thing involving the Septo. Seems you've got a couple of clave wielders here, Sept leader. You're going to need a master of challenges. I offer my services.
We'll see. Let's start with that beer.
As the pack goes off to celebrate their revelry.
I do have something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold back and go to Ryder's grave and kneel
Okay.
down, put a hand on it. We have the sept again. So that legacy continues. We'll figure out a way to kill her.
In a soft, clean, unragged tone, a voice says, I know you will, and I'll be there to see it. You go off to celebrate your revelry. Matthias informs Aspen that he's going to stick around for a few weeks, just to ensure everything is a clean transition and that power is assured amongst the tribe. He'll keep some of his men behind, but send the others back to make sure that everything is well out west. Gibbous and Raven say they are going to stick around as well. If nothing else, to have a few ragers with Jester, like the old days, and to catch up on stories long gone. Duncan also offers to remain behind, but sends the rest of his companions back, just to be here for Aiden, to teach him a little bit more about kinseeking. Mountain Claw approaches Joseph, gives him a grunt, a sock to the arm of approval, but leaves. Trillium offers to stay, but you dismiss her. Her services aren't needed, and the home is probably the higher priority. The cairn is protected, but a cairn is like trust. It can be built, but it has to be maintained, because it is so easily broken. Across town, in a high-rise, a door opens, and a very slender, very beautiful, middle-aged woman walks her way in a business suit. Miss Smith, representative of Pentex, approaches a desk. As she reaches it, she says, "They rebuilt it. It is thriving." While I appreciate the call, I think you know there's far more that I can provide for you. All you have to do is ask. The chair turns around, but instead of Edward Bateman, a stout, curly-haired woman says, "Oh, I don't think we'll be needing that just yet. I've got other plans for them. They may think they're strong, but I've broken stronger before. And I will break them." And that is where this story and this season comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Welcome to Walks in the role of Lucas Shaw, who joins the pack from here on in season 2. We're going to be taking a month break. Like I said at the top of the show, we will return in late June, so stay tuned to the schedule for the beginning of season 2 of Rage Across Tampa. It's been an incredible 26 episodes, but I guarantee you we're just getting started. Season 2 is entitled The Hunt for Bloody Mary. So come back for Rage Across Tampa. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to all the amazing content we have for the rest of the week. On Thursday, we've got Don't Get Caught. On Friday, we got What the Hell Is That? Our Hunter the Reckoning Chronicle. We do not have an After Dark on Saturday, as it is also going on break for a month. But on Sunday, there is Bloody Strings. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Follow St. Pete by Night on all the social media listed down below, and go follow these amazing players. They are worth and worthy of your support. I'm done talking. I'm looking forward to this month off. Good night, everybody.